So, Black Friday. We all know it, right? It's that crazy day of shopping, those unbelievable deals, and, of course, a huge payday for retailers. It's a day we think we know inside and out. But what if I told you the story you've always heard? Well, it isn't the real one at all.
You've heard this story a million times, I'm sure. The name Black Friday comes from the idea that this is the day retailers finally get their books out of the red, meaning a loss, and into the black, finally turning a profit for the year. And yeah, it's a neat little story. It makes perfect sense, right?
Well, that neat little story? It's basically just some really clever marketing. A total rebranding of a much, much darker history. Because the real origin of Black Friday has absolutely nothing to do with profits. Nope. It's actually all about a massive financial crash, total citywide chaos, and, believe it or not, clogged drains. Yeah, you heard that right.
Okay, so let's get into it. A surprisingly dark origin. To figure out where Black Friday really came from, we've got to go back way, way further than you'd probably guess. Turns out, the name has two totally separate and pretty negative origin stories.
Man, the journey of this term is just so wild. It all starts with a huge financial crisis way back in 1869. Then it gets picked up again in the 1950s by some seriously overwhelmed cops. And it's not until the 1980s that it finally gets that positive shop till you drop spin we know today.
So let's talk about the very first Black Friday. And trust me, it had zero to do with getting a deal on a new TV. We're talking September 24th, 1869. Two infamous Wall Street guys, Jay Gould and James Fisk, tried to pull a fast one and corner the entire U.S. gold market. Spoiler alert, their plan blew up in their faces. The market crashed and it bankrupted everyone, from the big shots on Wall Street all the way to farmers out in the country. It was a national disaster.
After that, the term basically went dark for decades. It didn't pop up again until the 1950s, and this time it was the police in Philadelphia who started using it. And let me tell you, they were not using it in a good way. For them, Black Friday was a nightmare. It meant traffic jams that paralyzed the city, sidewalks so packed you couldn't move, and a huge spike in shoplifting. It was just pure, uncut chaos that they absolutely dreaded every year.
Now you can imagine retailers hated this, right? All these negative vibes were not good for business. So, in the 1960s, they actually tried to rebrand the day as Big Friday. How'd that go? Yeah, it was a total flop. It just never stuck. The original name was way too catchy, I guess.
So what do you do if you can't change the name? Well, you change the story. It took a while, but by the 1980s, the retail industry pulled off a brilliant marketing move. They successfully hijacked the term and started pushing that whole red to black profit story we all know. And just like that, they managed to turn word for chaos into a symbol for cash registers ringing.
All right, so how on earth did this day, which started as a total mess in Philadelphia, become a global frenzy? Let's look at how it turned into a worldwide thing.
Yeah, this is not just an American thing anymore, not by a long shot. Today, Black Friday is a huge deal in over 50 countries around the world. We're talking everywhere from Brazil to India. It's kind of wild how this one American tradition just took over the globe.
And the whole thing has completely changed, hasn't it? It's not even just one day anymore. Now we've got Black Week. I've even seen Black November. Online shopping has totally blown up, easily beating out the in-store crowds. And of course, you still see those super dedicated shoppers camping out for days. But there's one other kind of bizarre side effect to all this that you've probably never heard of.
This is great. Believe it or not, for plumbers, the Friday after Thanksgiving is often their single busiest day of the entire year. They actually have a nickname for it. They call it Brown Friday. Why? Because their phones are ringing off the hook with calls about garbage disposals that have given up and drains completely clogged from all that Thanksgiving food. Okay, we've talked about the history, we've talked about the hype, but let's get down to the consumer's reality, your reality. The big question is, are these deals that we're all so desperately chasing, are they even real? Well, the truth might be a little disappointing. Turns out most of the deals aren't really deals at all. Get this, research from consumer watchdog groups has found that a whopping 85% of the stuff advertised on Black Friday was actually sold for the exact same price or sometimes even cheaper in the months before the big day.
So what does that actually mean? It means that feeling of, oh my gosh, I have to buy it now. That's often just a really well-made illusion. That amazing deal you think you're getting, it could just be the normal price with some flashy marketing slapped on it. It's really more about psychological hype than actual savings.
So there you have it, from a Wall Street crash to a nickname from Philly cops, all the way to a plumber's busiest day, Black Friday's real story is just so much stranger than you'd ever imagine. So, the next time you see one of those doorbuster deals, maybe just ask yourself, am I getting a real bargain here, or am I just buying into a really, really old and incredibly clever story?